Bernie says people are losing faith in the small d, and he's going to make it a big D. Bernie Sanders bringing the big D for Americans.
Let's maul in the Central Committee. Let's cringe in the Central Committee. Let's bog in the Central Committee right now.
Everyone is bowing down to our boy Bernie Sanders. You love to see it. Yeah. Moderates, House moderates say they won't back budget vote until infrastructure bill passes. Hey, guess what? Too bad. 9 moderate House Democrats told Speaker Nancy Pelosi on Friday that they will not vote for a budget resolution meant to pave their way for passage of a $3.5 trillion social policy package later this year until a Senate-approved infrastructure bill passes the House and is signed into law. How about this? No. Okay. No bipartisan bill. Fine. I don't care. Do nothing. I'm okay with that. Do nothing. The 9 House members are more than enough to block consideration of the budget blueprint in a House where Democrats hold a 3-seat majority. It then approved on a party line vote early Wednesday a $3.5 trillion budget resolution that, if passed by the House, would allow Democrats in both chambers to assemble the social policy bill this fall without fear of a Republican filibuster in the Senate. Ms. Pelosi has called back the House early from its summer recess to consider the budget resolution the week of August 23rd. To assuage liberal Democrats more interested in the social policy bill, Ms. Pelosi promised that she would not bring the infrastructure bill to a vote in the House until the Senate passed the social policy bill. Liberals fear that once the infrastructure bill is signed, moderate Democrats in the House and Senate will withdraw their support for the far-reaching social policy measure. Which is exactly their plan. Because if they were operating in good faith, why do they care? They'll just vote for both. But it seems to me that they are not. And by the way, they're not moderates. Call them what they are. Conservative Democrats. Stop calling them moderates. Call them conservative Democrats. Let's correct the record, because a lot of people think of themselves as moderate. Oh, I'm moderate. But policy-wise, they agree with Bernie Sanders and AOC on every fucking issue. They just think of themselves as like, I'm not very political. The social policy bill might not pass until well into the fall, if ever, given the 50-50 partisan split in the Senate. And moderate House Democrats say delaying a vote on infrastructure runs the risk of unforeseen events derailing it. Looks like we're going to have to run that risk. With the livelihoods of hardworking American families at stake, we simply can't afford months of unnecessary delays and risk squandering this once-in-a-century bipartisan infrastructure package, reads the letter, which has Representative Josh Gottheimer, a Democrat of New Jersey, as the first signer. It's time to get shovels in the ground and people to work. Nah, I'm okay. Nah, I think we can wait. If they stick to their position, Democratic leaders and President Biden face their first major test in the process. More than half of the nearly 100-strong Congressional Progressive Caucus has taken the opposite position, saying they will not vote for the infrastructure bill until they have a social policy measure funding their priorities: climate change, education, healthcare, family leave, childcare, and elder care. Hey, moderate Dems, which of these do you disagree with, you all fucking rat? This is why the 2-track approach was stupid from the get-go. Because these little rat fucks want to try to block all this stuff. They want to block the Biden agenda. That's why the 2-track approach was stupid in the first place. With the promised defections for the Progressive Caucus, it would appear that Ms. Pelosi faces a stalemate, lacking the votes to either deliver the infrastructure bill to President Biden's desk or advance the budget resolution needed to protect. Oh no. Oh well. Too bad. Until now, most congressional Democrats have been optimistic that both measures could find enough support. This is President Biden's agenda. This is the Democrats' agenda. This is what we ran on, and we need to deliver. Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota, a leader in the Progressive Caucus, said on the social policy bill, it is important for us not to miss the mark, and I don't see a conflict. But her moderate colleagues do. Conservative, we will not consider voting for a budget resolution until the Bipartisan Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act passes the House and is signed into law, they wrote. That sentiment may go beyond the 9. Other more moderate Democrats who declined to sign have also said they very much want an immediate vote on the infrastructure bill. This is a once-in-a-generation infrastructure bill, and I think we should strike while the iron is hot. First of all, the fact that they say dumbass shit like this is once in a generation, fuck you. No, it's not. We're going to do it again. We're going to keep doing it. Once in a generation. Who the fuck are you? You can't tell me what my generation's going to do in the next 20 years, you little rat. Fuck you. I'm going to do it again next year. This once in a generation, fuck off. We should bring it to the House and vote it on it as soon as possible. Nah, I think I'm good. So who signed it, chat? Henry Cuellar of Texas, Ed Case of Hawaii, primary, Kurt Schrader of Oregon, Carolyn Bordeaux of Georgia, Jared Golden of Maine, Vincent Gonzalez of Texas, and John Costa of California. I think only Jared Golden is in a swing seat. I think every other one of these motherfuckers is actually in a safe Democratic seat. I think every single one of these fuckers is in a safe congressional seat. I'm pretty sure that every single one of these seats is safe. 99.55% urban, chat. And only 46% white. Yeah, I mean, they fucking voted for John Ossoff, for fuck's sake. Yeah. Jared Golden used to be Medicare for all, and now he's like this. Truly pathetic. Yeah. And I think Gottheimer's district is like D plus 19 or something. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, no, it's D plus. It voted for Biden, but it voted for Trump in 2016. Hey, Shaolin Drifter, thank you for the tier 1. I worked on Golden's campaign. Easily one of the most disappointing expenditures of my time in my life. I mean, what a joke, man. What a joke. Can you explain how the vote will go when they finally do get the bipartisan bill and Bernie's bill? Does the House vote for both at the same time or separately? It depends on what they want to do. I mean, they can do it whatever way they want to do it. And the plan up until this point was always, we'll just, we'll do the one bipartisan bill so we can have a bill. We'll have a bill that we could get Republicans to vote for because we could say we did bipartisanship. And then we'll also do the real bill as reconciliation bill. We'll have two bills and it'll work perfectly. Oh, everybody who wasn't an idiot saw this coming. Everybody saw this coming. So basically, okay, to explain what's happening with Bernie's bill is the Senate did not pass the bill. What the Senate did is it gave authorization to all of the committees to work on the bill. The bill hasn't actually been written. But now that it's through now that has gone to the Senate, the House can pass that. The House can pass the bill because all budget resolutions have to originate in the House. So what the vote in the Senate did was give those committees authorization to work on it, do the reconciliation process, but the House has to pass the bill. All budget bills have to come from the House. So now that they're working on it in the Senate, whatever product they come up with, the House passes that, and then it goes back to the Senate for another vote. Then it goes to the White House for signature. However, the bipartisan bill was already passed by the Senate. It can go to the House and be passed out of the House. And then assuming it's the same bill, they can send it straight without, won't need to do a conference committee and a revote. They could just send that bill directly to the White House without having to have another vote in the Senate. So what the moderates are saying is, oh, don't wait on the bipartisan bill. Oh, don't wait on just send it. Well, we promise to support the liberal bill. We promise. We promise, chat. So this is what's going to be in there, right? And $400 billion for income home care for people with disabilities and older adults. $174 for electric vehicle billion for electric vehicle incentives. This is not quite the bill that's being proposed, but if you because they did two bills, if you combine them, it basically is this plan. This is Biden's plan. All right? $80 billion for the IRS, collect more revenue, etc., etc., etc. All these things. Free universal preschool, $200 billion, $85 billion for Pell Grants, $109 billion for 2 years of free community college. College and university serving minority groups, $46 billion. You know, big investments in child and family support, paid family and medical leave, nutrition programs, child care, clean electric grid and clean energy, $100 billion, high-speed broadband, $100 billion, $66 billion for water systems, $100 billion for public schools, $213 billion for affordable housing. Huge, huge, huge investments. If House Republicans were smart at all, they would demand Pelosi pass the bipartisan bill framework as soon as possible. Only a Dem priority masquerading as a Republican sold infrastructure. Too bad McCarthy isn't a leader in any sense. Well, they have a different political calculus over there. They don't want to have the Democrats do anything. That's the calculus that the Republicans have. They don't want the infrastructure bill. So like that's the situation that we're seeing right now. So everybody understands that Bernie's bill is very important. Is high-speed broadband going to be state-run? I don't understand. No, they're just going to give it to companies probably. The effects of universal pre-K are kind of understated, to be honest. It's probably one of the most immediately impactful policies in the bill and will have obvious direct and indirect changes upon people's lives that they will see immediately. Huh? If that's true, why did the Republican Senate vote for the bipartisan bill? Because it's pretty much their infrastructure bill, and senators senators have a different calculus than House members do, especially in the Republican Party. And this was a Republican bill. The bipartisan bill is actually just a Republican infrastructure bill. So, like, on the policies, of course they could support it. But, you know, in the House, there's a different calculation because they're much more likely to be primaried from the right or, quote, working with the Democrats. Bernie Sanders lost his fight to be president, but now he's written a budget that could secure his legacy. So, chat, remember all the centrists who were like, Bernie Sanders can't do anything. Bernie Sanders is a do-nothing. I had many a debate on that very topic. And, of course, all of you who know about Bernie Sanders know that was bullshit. Every single one of you know that was bullshit. Know about his many, many things that he has done in Congress. He was known as the Amendment King, and he was, you know, the VA, time and time again, working to, for example, the community health centers in the ACA, the expansion of Medicaid in the ACA. Bernie Sanders was there doing everything that was the effective policy. He was there. The one thing he didn't care about is getting credit for it all the time. He may have made a bold-faced impression on a recent American politics, but after 30 years in Congress, Senator Bernie Sanders has struggled with the criticism that his legislative impact has been written in fine print. An amendment here, a symbolic vote there, and many, many speeches. But, by the way, every single one of those speeches, he was right, and the country was going on the wrong track and doing something horrible. So his problem is, in 30 years in Congress, he was right the entire time, but everyone else that was criticizing him was dead fucking wrong. And that's his problem. But not perhaps for long. Sanders, just weeks from his 80th birthday, is on the cusp of leaving an indelible mark on the federal government, having shepherded a $3.5 trillion spending blueprint through the Senate this week. The legislation, backed by President Biden and Democratic congressional leaders, sets the stage for the most significant expansion of the federal social safety net in generations and the largest government response to climate change ever mounted. You think they will be making that criticism again if we get this done? Sanders chuckled after being reminded of his critics during an interview this week. The self-described Democratic socialist bristles at the suggestion that he has been a legislative lightweight. He helps orchestrate a major expansion of veterans' health care in 2014 and an $11 billion investment in community health centers in 2010, among numerous smaller bore initiatives. But he readily acknowledges that the pending legislation, which could include free community college, paid family medical leave, universal pre-K, vast clean energy investments, and the largest ever proposed expansion of Medicare outstrips them all. I'm proud of what we have accomplished, he said. But obviously this bill will be many levels above anything that I've ever been involved with before. Sanders' Democratic colleagues, including some who had publicly minimized his legislative impact in the past, are now singing his praises, crediting him with seeding the political atmosphere with an unabashedly liberal vision of federal government, and now, as the Senate Budget Committee chairman, putting that rhetoric in action. The fact that it has so much momentum is a huge tribute to Bernie, said Senator Tim Kaine, who shared a ticket with Sanders' 2016 presidential rival Hillary Clinton. We would not be where we are in terms of talking about a package of this size and scope and impact, but for two things: Bernie and a once-in-a-century public health crisis. The man, the message, and the moment are completely aligned right now. Sanders is not celebrating just yet. Not only has his budget outline not passed the House, but subsequent legislation actively turning that blueprint into law stands to be a grueling months-long process. Already, his $6 trillion ambitions had to be scaled back to accommodate more moderate members of the Budget Committee, and other Democrats such as Senator Joe Manchin and Christian Sinema have indicated they intend to give the package an additional spending haircut. But he remains electrified at the prospect of bringing his life's work to fruition at what he sees as a pivotal historical moment. At this moment, where we have the power to do something good, we're going to address them in a bold way, Sanders said. Republicans say they are equally elated at Sanders' new prominence and influence over the Democratic agenda, signaling they are perfectly happy to make an avowed socialist a mascot for the Biden agenda. Chat, they're stupid. Bernie Sanders is highly popular, and all this stuff they're doing is extremely popular. Lambasting the budget legislation on the floor Tuesday, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, famously popular Mitch McConnell, called it a reckless tax against spending spree that was authored by our self-described socialist colleague. The National Republican Senatorial Committee and other groups have already made Sanders and his Bernie budget a centerpiece of their advertising. And no one's talking about it because it's making no impact. And Senator Rick Scott, the committee's chairman, said he did not expect that to change anytime soon. I talk about it all the time. They're the Socialist Party now, not the Democratic Party, he said. It's a good message. My favorite thing about the Republicans is, by the way, they know that all these programs are extremely popular. That's why they're not talking about them. They're not saying, that free childcare, that's bad. Ooh, you want to spend $100 billion on the internet, making the internet faster in America? That sucks. Nobody wants that. Oh, you want to build clean energy? Oh, we hate that. Oh, you want a civilian climate corps of hundreds of thousands of jobs for young people and climate change? Nobody wants. See, every single fucking policy they know is super popular. So they're never going to talk about the policy. So when the policy passes, they're going to go debt. There's debt. They have nothing. They've got nothing. Sanders' Democratic colleagues have shown little discomfort with his role leading the budget push, and Sanders himself has complete confidence that his agenda's popularity will overwhelm the political attacks. His schedule allowing, he said, he plans to tour conservative areas of the country in the coming weeks to promote it. If Republicans want to be opposed to the $300 child tax credit, they want to be opposed to expanding Medicare, they want to be opposed to expanding childcare, he said. If they want to tell their constituents that we can continue to ignore climate change, they're going to lose the next election. What a fucking Chad, dude. Sanders became a household name for railing against millionaires and billion. Okay. Chat, this is anti-Semitism. This is anti-Brooklyn discrimination. Problematic, sweetie. Sorry, you're problematic, Washington Post. In his Brooklyn rasp, but he said his mission has now gone beyond mere wealth redistribution and an environmental rescue mission to encompass the preservation of American democracy. A lot of people are losing faith in democratic government with the small d. And it's just terribly important to me that we show people that we understand, we have a sense of what's going on in their lives. We could address their crises and make life a little bit better. Bernie says people are losing faith in the small d, and he's going to make it a big D. Bernie Sanders bringing the big D for Americans. We can address their crises and make life a little bit better, he said. Maybe we could restore some faith on the part of the American people and their government. That is a message he took inside closed-door meetings with fellow senators, including a pair of crucial gatherings in mid-July inside the office suite of Senate Majority Leader Charles E. Schumer, where the members of the budget panel, ranging in ideology from Sanders on the left to Senator Mark Warner in the center, hashed out exactly how much to spend. What are people demanding of us right now? Kane recalled Sanders arguing, noting the mounting crises of healthcare, climate, and democracy. Are you listening to what people are saying? While Sanders sought to go as high as $6 trillion, Warner wanted less than half that, especially with a separate bipartisan infrastructure deal riding alongside. Over 2 nights, the group struggled to reach consensus before quickly coming together late July 13th. $3.5 trillion it would be. Sanders described the meeting as difficult and emotional, in part because most members of the committee sided with him in wanting the larger figure, he said, and he believes as many as 40 senators felt the same. He relented, he said, because he knew he had to. Everybody in the room understood that there were members of the caucus who would find it very difficult to support a $6 trillion budget, he said. The compromise had to be reached. So literally every single thing people have said about Bernie Sanders from the right is wrong. Bernie Sanders is the most effective politician in America. And he's bringing the big D. He's bringing faith in the big D back. Sanders, Schumer, and Biden have all insisted that while the price tag has been scaled back, the ambitions of the legislation have not. This is listen to this trickery that Sanders pulled. Look at the trickery that he pulled. Sanders said the $3.5 trillion budget can include every program a $6 trillion one could fit, albeit for shorter periods of time, leaving future Congresses to extend them. So in other words, Bernie Sanders said, okay, I'll spend $3.5 trillion. And how did he do that? By having the same exact programs, but instead of 12 years, they go 10 or 8. And so in 8 years, what are they going to stop free childcare? Are they going to stop any of these? No, they're going to stop any of these programs. Everybody will be used to them. They'll be fucked. They'll have to extend it. Bernie Sanders won. That sort of flexibility belies the criticism of Sanders' legislative chops, doubt that was frequently sowed by supporters of his presidential rivals who were intent on making the case that Sanders was simply too radical and too inflexible to govern. And the other thing that's really funny about this is, are you going to find a single person who's going to say, yeah, I'm just a liar. I'm just a hack. I was just lying because I wanted to beat Bernie. Keep your government hands off my free childcare. Sigma grind set. Exactly. The ultimate Sigma male. Among them was former Rep. Barney Frank, a supporter of Clinton's 2016 campaign, and now a lobbyist for the big banks, not in the article, weird, who had in several stories cast doubt as Sanders as a legislative non-factor, a bomb thrower, more interested in scoring ideological points than writing his views into permanent law. Look how often this little fucking lobbyist hack was able to get articles attacking Bernie published. This is in Slate. This is in Politico. This is in the WAPO. Reach this week. Frank said he considers Sanders' performance the most pleasant surprise of the year and ascribed his success to his newfound power as budget chairman and a sea change in political attitudes prompted by the pandemic. Having responsibility can make you act in a very constructive way, as Sanders is doing, he said. I think he's doing an excellent job. Also delivering praise, Senator Elizabeth Warren, a 2020 presidential rival who feuded with Sanders as they competed for the affections of liberal primary voters. Bernie deserves enormous credit, she said. Without Bernie, we wouldn't have our toes on the line to create universal child care, expand Medicare, and the money to fight the climate crisis. Go Bernie. With his ascent to power, Sanders has become as close to an integral part of the Democratic establishment. Okay, dude. As any point in his political career. So this is so funny, Chad. For 30 years, they've been trying to marginalize this man, and because of his grassroots support and the power of people like you, he is pressuring Biden to actually do something with power for the first time in his fucking career that wasn't horrific. And they're gonna try to reclaim him. Motherfucker turned down the Democratic Party nomination. He turned it down in 2018. A friend who attended the same Brooklyn public schools, Schumer, paid tribute to Sanders this week using the same kind of historical comparisons that Sanders himself favors. He kept his nose to the grindstone and led our caucus, he said. As a result, the Democratic budget will be the most significant legislation for American families since the era of the New Deal and the Great Society. It is a big, bold change, the kind of change America thirsts for. Relations with the White House have been similarly warm. Biden, whom Sanders quickly endorsed after his 2020 presidential campaign sputtered, has been solicitous of the Vermonter, reflecting both a long-standing personal relationship and his key role as budget chairman. White House spokesman Andrew Bates said Wednesday that Biden deeply respects Senator Sanders' unflinching commitment to fighting for working people, as well as his skilled leadership in helping move the legislative process forward. While the Senate budget has largely followed Biden's policy blueprint, Sanders has clearly put his own stamp on the document, most notably the dramatic Medicare expansion, including dental, hearing, and vision coverage. A senior White House aide who spoke on the condition of anonymity to describe private meetings said Sanders repeatedly pressed Biden on Medicare expansion, including in the July Oval Office meeting with other Budget Committee Democrats. He made the case passionately and strongly in the Oval, and the president gave his full backing, the aide said. Sanders' faith in his life's work, restoring and building on the spirit of the New Deal, is nothing new, said Tad Devine, Sanders' former political strategist. But the recent breakthroughs on Capitol Hill, he said, reflect not only his underappreciated legislative skills, but the success of a grinding, decades-long campaign to bring his ideas into the political mainstream. Bernie is not just lucky to be there at this moment in time. He's worked hard to be there, Devine said. He's never been somebody who shied away from really big issues and really big fights. Going back to the beginning of his political career, he's just got partners now. In the interview, Sanders readily credited Biden, Schumer, and his Senate colleagues and a new crop of young liberal House lawmakers for coalescing around an ambitious agenda rather than a simply 2% here and 3% there. But he also was happy to acknowledge the role that his own advocacy, including his presidential campaigns, played in popularizing that kind of ambition. To finally begin to see the type of transformative legislation in which we are beginning to address many of the crises that have been ignored for so many years, he said, is very gratifying. What a fucking Chad. What a fucking Chad. And a lot of, Chad, a lot of people are going to look at these programs and go, it's not Medicare for all. It's not free college. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry, free medical leave, free sick days and medical leave. Who cares, man? But that's fucking stupid. We got that. This is our win. And we're not done. It's not like you pass one law and then we're done passing laws. You win and then you ask for more. We're going to ratchet things to the left. See, people have been losing for so long, they don't know what it looks like when you start to win. Do you get everything you want all at once? Sometimes. I'm never saying never. But a lot of the time it's about building momentum. It's about pushing that snowball down the fucking hill. And here we are. You can see it happening. You can see the worm turning. You can see it happening. Bernie Sanders is bringing the big D back. We can't call it a win because it hasn't actually passed yet. The battle isn't over. True. I'm just saying, go all in on fighting for this stuff. It's not like the kids being worked to death. We're like, what? Child labor laws? That's it? Where's our paid maternity leave? It takes time to get where we want to go. Now, listen, I want you to take two lessons. It takes time, but still be angry, still be fired up, still be hungry. Think about it like hunger. Just because you get a glorious feast one day doesn't mean you're not hungry the next. Be the same way with your politics. Take your win, stuff your face, and then tomorrow, ask for more. What's the likelihood that it passes? I say it's very good. The various factions are all doing their little bullshit little, they're doing their bullshit little fights. But I'm feeling very confident. I'm feeling very confident myself. Thirsting for Big D, exactly. We do politics here every morning starting at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Eastern,
7 a.m. Pacific, you can watch us here on Twitch. We're the morning guy, the morning politics guy, Politics Frogs, in every single day, same time, 10 a.m., day in, day out. And we carry you through your morning and early afternoon politics needs. And if you need more, Mike from PA, we have a YouTube channel. We talked about suburbs, the My Pillow guy, Ted Cruz. We talked about DSA. Amazing. Making fun of Tim Pool. Amazing. Look at all of these amazing videos. Get in there, watch them. We have me on Twitter. You got to follow me on Twitter, chat. I'm at 20,614 subs. That means I got like 40 followers on Twitter in the last day. You can do better than that. You can do better than that. Go follow us on Twitter. And of course, join the Discord, where we have an incredible community of left-wing streamers. We have left-wing community. We talk about the stream. We talk about politics. There's gaming content. It's a really awesome, supportive place. Direct action, mutual aid. And you can just let off some steam. And also, you can help produce the show. One of the things I do is I look at the links that are put into the news content suggestions chat room on the Discord. Join the Discord, come hang out, and maybe what you want me to talk about will be part of the next show.